So there were 452 illegals apprehended at the Hyundai mega plant.
I'm sorry, I was so distracted by this horrible filter that I think I heard you wrong.
The Hyundai mega...
I thought that's what you said, but go on.
A mega plant construction site yesterday near Savannah. And I was the one that reported the information that I had to ICE.
So right now, the relationships between South Korea, actually Korea in general, both Koreas, does not look good for America at all. And it's very troubling and very concerning. A lot of Korean people are talking about this, and it's very interesting to see how this has really turned around and how a lot of Korean people are just now, unfortunately, seeing that this was never about rounding up illegals. Like, we were gonna be next. We were gonna always be next.
Did you know you can pay $5 billion just to get humiliated? That's exactly what happened to the Hyundai and LG battery factory in Georgia. By the way, it's not Hyundai, it's Hyundai. President of South Korea met Trump last month. I couldn't even finish the video.
저의 관여로 남북 관계가 잘 개선되기 쉽지 않은 상태인데 실제로 이 문제를 풀 수 있는 유일한 인물이 트럼프 대통령이십니다.
It was so cringe, the way he was kissing and the translator fighting for his life.
Hi guys, my name is Esther Daniel and you're welcome back to the channel. So let me break down this white story that's blowing up right now. So imagine this, a white woman running for office in Georgia decided she was going to play ICE agent. She snitched and called immigration on thousands of Korean workers who were working legally at Hyundai LGA battery plants. And guess what? ICE actually showed up. They came through with one of the biggest raids in US history. Over 475 people, mostly Korean workers, were arrested. These weren't random foes hiding in shadows. These were engineers, welders, skilled workers, people flown in to build multi-billion-dollar projects. Here is the twist nobody expected. A lot of them had valid visas. These were not illegal workers, but this woman, Tori Barnum, claimed she was protecting American jobs, and now the whole state of Georgia could lose an 8,500 job project and millions of dollars in investment. Like, how do you mess something up that big just to make a political point? This is not just some neighborhood snitch calling noise complaints. This is a political stunt that could wreck the economy of entire states and spark an international crisis with South Korea. Yo, this is bigger than people realize. Let's get into it. But before we do that, please subscribe to the channel, like and share the video to help the channel out. And don't forget to drop your thoughts in the comments.
The only people that are mad about this raid in Ellabelle, Georgia at the Hyundai mega site are probably people that don't pay taxes. Because in 2022, when they signed the agreement to bring that plant here and build it, they were given $32 million in tax breaks to employ Georgians, and they didn't. The Georgians never were hired temp to permanent. They had more of the people apprehended yesterday were Korean. They either were here illegally, overstayed their visas, or it was illegals working for the contractors and on the site. So they got all these tax cuts and never created jobs for Georgians. They get EPA tax cuts, never had any plans for well or well infrastructure or water. So the water they're using is in turn drying up farmers' wells. And all these surrounding counties are like, well, we have money put back in case we need to put in new wells. Well, who does that fall back on? The taxpayers. And how many cattle or crop have to die before they get it put in if they have to go in and put in those backup wells? It's not benefiting Georgians. And if you're a taxpayer, it should piss you off. You shouldn't be defending it.
Here's how Korea is reacting to the ICE raids at the Hyundai battery plant in Georgia.
We need construction to cease immediately.
And this raid is the largest single-site operation that DHS has conducted in history. Of the over 450 people arrested right now, around 300 of them are Korean nationals. And this has come as quite a shock to South Korea right now because Koreans are usually not the target of ICE raids. A Korean newspaper even had this cartoon right here where they are depicting Trump as a sort of a bully. It starts off by saying that the US was begging Korea for more investments, and now they're arresting hundreds of South Koreans on a business trip. Literally just last month, South Korea's President Lee Jae-myung met with President Trump, and they reaffirmed their alliance as well as business relationships. The US has been pressuring South Korea to invest billions of dollars into the American industry, and they were ramping up this pressure in the past few months. Korea recently agreed to a $350 billion investment into the American economy. And part of that investment was this Hyundai LG factory that was set to open next year. This facility was going to be Georgia's biggest industrial investment in the state's history, and it was supposed to help boost the state's economy. Officials are saying that a lot of these employees were actually South Korean nationals there on a temporary visa for a business trip who have been sent to help finish building electric car battery factories. First of all, South Korea's foreign ministry came out immediately to say that they are expressing concern and regret over Washington's decision to do this, and that this will send a chilling effect to the US in terms of business. I mean, President Trump has vowed to arrest the worst of the worst criminals with ICE raids, so I think Korea is shocked that this happened at one of their biggest factories in the US. I mean, the US is coming out and saying that they did this raid because they think the employees are there illegally or have overstayed their visas, and investigations are still currently ongoing. Now, LG is ordering all of its employees that are on business trips in the US to immediately return to Korea, and they're going to reconsider sending anyone else on business trips to the US right now.
So there were 452 illegals apprehended at the Hyundai mega plant.
I'm sorry, I was so distracted by this horrible filter that I think I heard you wrong.
The Hyundai
I thought that's what you said, but go on.
mega plant construction site yesterday near Savannah. And I was the one that reported the information that I had to ICE.
I'm sorry, what? One more time?
I was the one that reported the information that I had to ICE.
I thought that's what you said, but there must be a good reason.
These people are working for slave wages. Some are not getting paid. Some are being trafficked. They send money home to their country. They give money to their handler. They have hardly anything left. They live in homes 5 families deep, have no quality of life.
Oh, so harmful rhetoric that you clearly believe in to dehumanize Asian people so you don't have to feel bad about what you just did. But the thing I find really confusing is how are you using Asian factory worker stereotypes when you yourself just called it a
Hyundai mega plant construction site.
Oh, that's because you yourself just confirmed that you knew that the EV battery part of this mega plant, where the raid happened, isn't even operational yet because they don't even start production until early 2026. And in this follow-up video, you claim that in 2022 when Hyundai announced this mega plant that they said that they were going to create jobs for Americans. And then you weaponized it to be like, see, they were lying because everyone who was captured were Korean. Well, that's weird because if you go to the Hyundai Motor Group Meta Plant website, they very loudly state that they were going to create 8,500 jobs just at the Meta Plant. Because that doesn't even include all the jobs that will be created because of all the companies that will need to supply Hyundai with all the raw materials, which includes an additional 6,900 jobs, which in total is about 15,400 jobs. And I get it, math hard, but 15,000 is nowhere near 475. And if you watched my last video, you know that earlier this year, South Korea just committed to investing over $350 billion with a B into the US economy. And a couple of weeks ago, Hyundai stated that they were going to invest an extra $5 billion. And it's extra $5 billion because this meta plant in Georgia already cost Hyundai over $4.3 billion. In fact, the Republican governor has literally gone on record to state that it is the largest economic development project in Georgia's history. And let me tell you, South Korea is not happy about it. In fact, the president basically was like, this is #1 priority right now. And I wouldn't be surprised if South Korea pulled out their investment. Want to know the craziest thing? You know who this is? She is Tory Branham, who's literally running for Congress for Georgia's 12th district. You want to take a wild guess which district the Hyundai Meta Plant is in? Yup, Georgia's 12th district. The same 12th district in Georgia, whose median household income is severely below Georgia's median household income, and even more so below the average American's median household income. Which means that the constituents of Georgia's 12th district are overwhelmingly blue collar. The same people who are probably going to be really mad when over 15,000 jobs just walks away from Georgia. So when election time rolls around and you don't get any votes, Tory, just remember, it's because everyone hates you. Good luck.
Let's take it from the top. It's not Hyundai, it's Hyundai. So if you're going to report anything to ICE, at least know the freaking name of it. Number 2, in the first Trump administration, there was an agreement signed between Donald Trump and the South Koreans to bring some of their car manufacturing here to the United States. The South Koreans built a factory in the state of Georgia, and recently they have been adding to it, partnering with one of America's companies, LG, to produce electric vehicles, which would have brought billions to the state of Georgia and to the entirety of the United States and put a lot of people to work. Something you MAGA supporters are always complaining about. All of our manufacturing is being shipped overseas. And now that it's back in the United States, you want to open up your big fat Oopa Loopa mouth to ICE to get these people deported. And now all work has had to cease. And we've just damaged our relationship with one of our closest partners in Asia. I mean, do you people not think? It's this type of ignorance and silliness that got us Donald Trump in the first place, because you people just blindly do stuff. And now you just cost the state of Georgia jobs and money. I mean, what a stupid mother.
The ICE raid that just happened at the Hyundai EV plant in Georgia is going to and has ruined all future international business for the United States, has ruined international relations, and is going to tank America's economy and Georgia's economy even further. South Korea has been one of America's strongest allies for a very long time. They've had a very strong relationship for a very long time, and South Korea has invested a lot of money, millions, billions of dollars. Now the South Korean government does not feel safe with their Korean nationals, and they do not trust the American government or American law enforcement to not infringe the rights upon their own citizens. They feel backstabbed, and that is deeply concerning and very alarming with the future relations of South Korea and the United States moving forward after what just happened, after what just took place in Georgia. Not to mention, Hyundai and LG have invested millions, billions of dollars into this. And now South Korean businesses like Hyundai, Kia, LG, Samsung are going to question whether or not it is worth the time, the money, and the investment moving forward. And they will most likely pull out of America. Georgia has the third highest population of Koreans living in the United States outside of California and New York. Most of the Koreans that live in Georgia live in the Atlanta area, and they live in the Savannah area where the Hyundai plant is located. Hyundai will most likely pull out, and if they do, Georgia's economy will tank as well as America's economy, which right now, the economy is not looking that great for both America and Georgia. If Hyundai pulls out, if these Korean companies pull out of Georgia, Georgia's economy will fall because they rely on these Korean companies, and they have made a lot of money, and it has created job opportunities in the state of Georgia. The fact that the South Korean government has deployed diplomats from Washington, D.C., the Atlanta consulate, and they're flying their own from Korea to help facilitate and intervene the over 300 Korean nationals who are currently being detained is not a good thing. After the meeting that just took place on August 25th between Trump and the new president of South Korea, who was just elected into office on June 3rd. This does not look good. On top of that, the New York Times article that just came out about how Trump deployed Navy SEAL 6 to North Korea to plant a listening device. The operation failed, and the Navy SEAL 6 killed North Korean civilians. So right now, the relationships between South Korea, actually Korea in general, both Koreas, does not look good for America at all. And it's very troubling and very concerning. A lot of Korean people are talking about this, and it's very interesting to see how this has really turned around and how a lot of Korean people are just now, unfortunately, seeing that this was never about rounding up illegals. Like, we were gonna be next. We were going to always be next. After Hispanic and Latinos, they were always going to come after us. It was always going to be us. But to see the real life turnaround is just really interesting to see. And As a Korean person, I love telling my own people I told you so.
To that lady who called for ICE to go and raid that Hyundai plant over there in Georgia, I hope you have the day that you deserve. They detained 500 workers, and out of 500 of those workers, 450 of them was South Korean. Okay, so let me get this right. So South Korea opened up that plant in Georgia to bring business to the U.S. and to bring jobs to the U.S. And they sent their qualified people to train Americans on how to do that job. And yet they got detained. Not only possibly did you just cost the state that you currently reside in billions of dollars, but if South Korea decides to cease operations and just shut the whole damn plant down, did you think that far ahead? See, that's be your problem. Y'all don't think that far ahead because you can't even see past your own nose. So you're talking about, oh, it's going to open up over 400 jobs for Americans. It ain't gonna be no job if the plant not there anymore. I mean, if over 400 jobs was opened up to Americans, who gonna train them? Y'all just detained their trainers.
Those of you harassing me over this whole raid at the Hyundai plant,
you fucked up. Just say that. You messed up. Just say that. So now you're going to say that people like me, I'm a real person, people like me are getting paid to agitate and harass you. So to use what you said earlier, slave wages, I must be getting paid slave wages to do this because I'm getting paid $0 to tell you, someone who's running for office, that you're a terrible person and what you did was wrong. Having all of those people detained by ICE. People like me are real. Real people, real constituents do not like you and will not vote for you.
They on her head this morning. This nutty lady went to bed last night thinking she had did her big one in Georgia. But Twitter is reminding her ass. They threatening this lady. And Tory is rattled for sure.
the only people that are mad about this raid in Elabel, Georgia at the Hyundai mega site are probably people that don't pay taxes. Because in 2022, when they signed the agreement to bring that plant here and build it, they were given $32 million in tax breaks to employ Georgians, and they didn't. The Georgians never were hired temp to permanent. They had more of the people apprehended yesterday were Korean. They either were here illegally, overstayed their visas, or it was illegals working for the contractors and on the site. So they got all these tax cuts and never created jobs for Georgians. They get EPA tax cuts, never had any plans for well infrastructure or water. So the water they're using is in turn drying up farmers' wells. And all these surrounding counties are like, well, we have money put back in case we need to put in new wells. Well, who does that fall back on? The taxpayers. And how many cattle or crop have to die before they get it put in if they have to go in and put in those backup wells? It's not benefiting Georgians. And if you're a taxpayer, it should piss you off. You shouldn't be defending it.
She trying to smile through the pain, but went to bed last night full of racism and woke up. I love it.
So here is what went down. Tory Branham, she's a Republican candidate running for Georgia's 12th district. She went on Facebook bragging she reported the Hyundai LGA Energy battery plant to ICE. Her reason, she said Georgians weren't getting the jobs, and she accused the company of bringing in illegals. That word again, you know how they use it to paint everyone foreign as a criminal. Well, ICE took her tip seriously, and then boom, Homeland Security shows up, weighs the place, and takes almost 500 people into custody. Videos went viral of workers in hard hats being loaded into buses like criminals. And remember, these people weren't hiding. These were workers who came through agreements between South Korea and the US. Now, South Korea is furious. Their government had to step in, demanding the release of their citizens. They even sent charter planes to bring about 300 workers back home. Diplomats are saying this could damage US-Korean relations, and all because one woman wanted clout. Here's what's crazy. Branham is acting like she's the hero, but Georgians online are dragging her. People are posting things like, how dumb do you have to be to run multi-billion-dollar contracts because of white supremacy? Others are saying, if Hyundai pulls out and we lose about 8,000 jobs, we know who to thank. And you know what? They are right. This was supposed to be one of the biggest job creators in Georgia. Billions in investment, thousands of opportunity. But because of the hate and policies, all this is now in danger. That's the cost of racism. It doesn't just hurt immigrants, it hurts everybody. Now, let's be real. This was never about jobs. If it was about jobs, Branham could have demanded fair hiring, better wages, or training programs for local workers. But no, she went straight to ICE. That tells you this was about targeting foreigners, not protecting workers. This is what white supremacy looks like in 2025. It's not just about burning crosses. It's using government system to push everyone who doesn't like you. And the sad part, ICE just followed right along. They didn't even double check the visas before dragging people off the site. Let me say this, Korean workers are not the enemy. Black workers are not the enemy. Latino workers are not the enemy. The real problem is greedy corporations and politicians who love dividing people by race so they can keep power. And look at the irony. Branham was saying she wanted to stand up for American workers, but what she actually did was put American workers at risk. Because if Hyundai pulls out, it's thousands of regular Georgia families who will lose. That's the thing about racism. It doesn't just backfire, it blows up the whole house. So yeah, this story is messy, it's loud, and it's not over yet. South Korea is already demanding answers, and Georgians are furious. And let's just be honest, this isn't just one woman's stunt. This is a reflection of how racism, politics, and immigration all get mixed up in America. A white politician thought she could score points by calling ICE, and now she's exposed for the damage she caused. My final thought, every time racism tries to protect America, it ends up hurting America even worse. But let me stop here. I want to hear from y'all. Do you guys think Hyundai should stay in Georgia after this, or should they pack up and leave? Drop your thoughts in the comments, and don't forget to subscribe to the channel, like and share the video to help the channel out. Thank you for watching. See you in the next one. Bye.